What's up, guys? Me again. Just a real quick update here at the bus. Kind of having a mellow day until our welder guy gets here for Wednesday to handle this craziness in the floor, putting in new supports and everything. I'm just kind of piddling around. I've ordered like 200 feet of butyl tape, 1 inch by 1/8 of an inch, 50-foot rolls of butyl tape online. And from a place called bestmaterials.com. Their shipping's a little bit high, but I think it's worth it versus what I've been able to find in town here. They've only had the silicone putty stuff for RVs, so if it doesn't say butyl and high temperature and all that, it's probably not worth it. So I'm here, gonna pull these windows out one at a time and basically, get all the old tape that's there, if there is any. A lot of these windows haven't been sealed at all, and just sort of get these things prepped. I'll come back later when I get the butyl tape and everything and pressure clean everything, wash them down real nice, and basically right now I'm just prepping the edges of the little window sash and getting all the old stuff off. I'm going to hit it with a little wire wheel and on the edges, and some little utility blades, straight razors, to kind of get away some of that old gunk and make sure that we seal this bus up nice and tight for any water leaks. I'm sure there's a few in the ceiling with rivets that have popped or whatever, but until we can get to that point of prepping for paint and everything, we're just gonna have to hang loose and wait for this delivery of butyl tape and get some tubes of caulking and stuff like that. So anyway, just a quick update here at the bus, trying to have a relaxing day. Gonna turn this fan on. It's still really hot, but I got all the windows open, and just slow and steady wins the race. So I did this one yesterday. You might be able to see. I don't know. Let's see if we can get that there. Yeah, there's a little bit there. So it's basically just a pliable type of rubber that you put in there. And then there's some spots underneath that have some holes. So that's typically where these windows will leak from. You just seal them up nice and everything should look good after that. So maybe I'll film a little bit of that or set up a time lapse, but I'm just kind of chilling today. So no major deal on the video, but I wanted to send you another update, let you know we haven't gotten stale here. I already removed all the insulation and cleaned up those areas so we can see where any water is coming through before we re-insulate and just seal everything up. I might order some RV hatches to replace these emergency exits soon, but all in due time. So slow and steady wins the race. Let's try to be productive today and do what I can while I can. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I appreciate it. Here at the Utopians bus, Jeremy signing off. Peace. Well, I figured after watching that first window time lapse, it's kind of boring and eventless unless I can position it above the work I'm doing. But instead, I'll just turn this camera around and kind of show you what's going on, and so you get the gist of everything. So yeah. So basically, the way they put these windows in is just a couple of screws with these little large washers with a large flange on them, hold them in place. And then they just pull out. It's not always easy because if you look at the old one here, excuse me for that exposure, that's pretty much the old putty that's in the way, and it's hard on there. It's still pliable, but you can obviously see that it's kind of crappy in there. So, and then as far as the faces go of these things, there's nothing at all. Get a better exposure hopefully. there's nothing at all in the faces of these things. The top is protected by this little bit of a splash guard here that's riveted to the outside of the bus. It's got a little lip that kind of diverts the rain away from the windows, but you know, when you're traveling on the highway and stuff, rain will get up in there and it'll come down into this corner. A lot of times it'll puddle up in this area and you know, eventually drip over the side or come through the bottom. So like if you look in this corner, you see that little hole down there right here. That could be detrimental and cause rusting and leaks in your walls and stuff like that. They usually go heavy in the corner here, but it's better, I think, in my opinion, just to get that stuff out of there. Clean it up as best you can, and then you see what I did here. I basically cleaned this edge up and even brought the paint down in that area, so when I get some new butyl tape or sealant, I'll be able to put it on there and I'll have something to stick to. Same thing goes when you're painting. You have to rough up the paint to put new paint on. So yeah, it's kind of a pain. Let me find a razor blade without cutting myself. Basically, I go in here and you can see how hard that is. I'm pushing pretty hard, so it's better to use gloves if you're going to use a blade like that. You get the stuff off. What works even better is a paint scraper in a lot of situations. You can kind of just get that stuff up like that. A big pile of gook. And you see what's left behind. So you go over it a few times just to get that old silicone off there, that old putty, until it's pretty flat. Maybe go back with a razor blade, hit it a few times like that. Once it's down to an even surface like that, you can go in here with a wire wheel on a drill, sort of. You try to do this one-handed. I got a bent wire wheel. So basically, you just scuff up the area. I'm not worried about getting outside of this because we're going to end up painting the whole bus anyway, and that's a whole lot of little cut-in work that's involved. But just to prep that area, I also clean up, even though there was no gook on here, I'll still clean these areas because there's some dust showing and you can see the difference a little bit. So that's basically what I'm doing. You know, some of these windows come out a lot easier than others, but from what I've seen so far, they've only caulked in here on the bottom, which is doesn't ensure that there won't be leaks. Thus, another reason for having a rusty floor that we have to pull up. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here, cut it short. You guys following along, hopefully this will help you guys in your own window sealing journeys. This is just one small part of a large project, and it'll definitely take your time, so hopefully if you're going to do this kind of thing, you can set aside the time to make it happen. We're hoping to have this done in 6 months. We've already been here a month, and I think I've made some good progress, but it still doesn't look like a home yet. Definitely plenty of room in here now. Not as easy to get things done when the temperature is like 100 degrees and all this humidity and Florida heat. And now that I've pulled the insulation out, it's even hotter in here, so that little bit of insulation did help to some extent, but we want to redo that whole thing. So thanks for following along again. This is Jeremy at the Utopians bus. Basically, you can create your own utopia. All you have to do is find the will, and there's always a way. Thanks for joining us. Until the next update, talk to you soon. Peace.